In this pencast, we're going to look at nomenclature and formulas for our inorganic compounds. So we're going to name some formulas and we're going to write the formulas for some of the names. Just want to give myself enough room here. So let's write down the formulas and the names that we're going to use. So here we go. The first one's going to be NMGBr2. The next one we're going to name, mixing it up, we'll do Cu3PO4, 2. After that, let's do HF. And finally, we'll name, let's see, S2Cl6. Now, for the ones we're going to write the formulas for, that's going to be iron 3 chloride. Apologizing in advance my penmanship. I've been working on it since what? Kindergarten, and it's just not gotten much better. After that, I have sulfur. Let's see, sulfur trioxide. After that, let's do potassium nitrate. And finally, we're going to write the formula for sulfuric acid. So with naming, the first thing I would do is look at that first element. I know it's a metal, and I like to call it a type 1 metal because it's a metal whose charge I know from the periodic table is always +2. Those are my favorite to name because you just write the name of the metal and then the name of that non-metal, bromine, and change the ending to IDE. Now, copper is not one of the metals I know, so I call that a type 2. It's in the middle of the periodic table. That means I'm going to have to figure out its charge based on the anion. Phosphate's one of those polyatomics we need to know is -3. And since there are 2 of them, that means the total negative charge is -6. Has to cancel out with the positive, so the total positive has to be +6. And since there are 3 coppers, that means each copper has a charge of +2. And you only need to write the charge on just one. So it's copper Roman numeral 2, phosphate. Plus, like I said, you should not have to go higher than 5 ever. H in front tells me we're naming an acid. And F is fluoride. When the anion ends in IDE, you write hydroblankic, in this case, fluoric acid. And finally, S, there's a nonmetal. When it starts with a nonmetal on that right side of the periodic table, I know I have to name it using my prefixes. So this would be disulfur and then hexachloride. Okay. So kind of mixed up so you can see the decisions. Now, in the writing the formulas, the iron is literally telling you it's a +3 charge. And then the chloride from the periodic table is -3. So to make sure they cancel out, I need 3 chlorides, a little crisscross. Sulfur, a nonmetal, and then seeing that prefix tells me I just have to write it as the formula, 1 sulfur and 3 oxygens. Potassium, I know from the periodic table is +1. Nitrate is one of those ions we need to know, -1. Since they're already a perfect match, I just shove them together. And finally, the acid tells me H+. Sulfuric tells me it came from 8, so sulfate, again, one of our polyatomics. And then anytime with charges, we need to make sure it adds up to 0. So that comes to H2SO4. I hope this helps in your decision making and problems for names and formulas. Please do not be discouraged. This can take a lot of practice. So just keep at it and eventually it'll become second nature to you.